Yo, what is going on, guys? Just want to give my trade recap for the day. Um, so we took one break even and one loss, which is not too bad. The loss was a half loss, so I half risked it. A half risk, just because we were still within this 4 hour gap, but again we still had some targets higher. This 15-minute gap, which was here. No, not this 15-minute. We had um these high resistance highs that were here. So ideally to me, longs were favorable just because our 5-minute structure was holding as well. When we tapped into that 4 hour, we did get it inverse of this first 5-minute gap, but ideally, like I wanted this 5-minute gap to go to get inverse as well. We had no higher time frame kind of we had no kind of um high time frame 15-minute POIs to either side. We were just working with the 5-minute, but again we were making higher highs and higher lows. So to me, conditions were there to go higher, to target higher. We definitely would have um had some resistance, which is what we're having now. As you can see, like the 4 hour, which is here, is still kind of holding this gap, this area here. We gotta also take in account that we did inverse this bullish one here as well. So yeah, I decided to go half risk just because we just tapped into this 4 hour gap without the inverse of this 5-minute. Without the inverse of this 5-minute. And so ideally, if I wanted to go short, it would have been something like this. Stops would have been above these highs, and I would have just targeted all this resting liquidity down here, which makes sense. We have all this stack liquidity down here, so that's what I would have targeted. But yeah, in terms of high time frame POI, we had. I'll pull it up. The only thing we kind of really had was the fact that we inversed this 4 hour, but I kind of don't like. I like to use like fresh POIs that have been made. And so we had this 4 hour Fair Value gap, but we also got to take into account that we did take out some hourly lows as well. So as you can see, like we did take out these hourly lows here, which actually fueled the move up to fill in this 4 hour gap. But just again, even though we were fighting this 4 hour gap, I did see that on the lower time frame we were respecting this bullish structure that was made on the way up. And to me, I'm kind of okay with taking a trade that's like, if we have a high time frame bias, longs could also work too, just because like sometimes the gaps do, or the high time frame gaps do hold, and sometimes they don't, just because price is actually seeking something more. So yeah, I mean, like it's one of those things where it's one of those things um where we do our risk, and we calculate it, in terms of what's a bad trade, what's a good trade, and what's like a B plus trade, not an A plus. So to me, this was a B plus, just because even though we did take out these hourly highs, and we did go break even on these hourly highs. I got a horrible fill on this, by the way. This could have been a winner. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I was too late to calculate my risk on that, in terms of lot sizing. So, yeah, I mean, again, yeah, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to figure out, scenarios in your head and what could work, and what's showing you confirmation and things like that. And I had confirmation on both these trades, so I was looking to kind of, go, go long. Um, Even though we did have some bearish POIs, but overall, like the trend, we are bullish. So ideally, well, eventually, I expect this 4 hour gap not to hold, just because the range that we are dealing with is this range here. So, if we talk about equilibrium and things like that, we obviously filled equilibrium within the structure here. So ideally, I would have loved to see a continuation actually invalidating this 4 hour POI. But again, it's something to take note of just because it was unmitigated. But again, we did mitigate this 4 hour gap. We pulled back. We're able to take our first trade, which ended up being a break even. We then had a new condition, which in this case was a 5 minute that was created on the move up, actually taking out these hourly highs. So if I were to go short, it would have been if we inverse this gap here. So with that, I was happy to, or with what we had, I was happy to go long. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up with the high time frame kind of like bias and what I had in mind. We're obviously bullish on the 4 hour. The 1 hour we did have a slight pullback, but it looks like we are maybe potentially looking to trade higher, just because we filled in this range now, this whole range now. So ideally, I would love to see price head even higher. 15-minute time frame, we really didn't have any POIs on the 15-minute time frame at all, so I was kind of left at 5-minute time frame. We tapped into this 4 hour gap, and for me to go short, I would have loved to seen this gap actually get disrespected. We did have a 15-minute gap forming, but again, with the close that we had, a 15-minute gap wasn't able to form. So so once we tapped this 5-minute POI, I was pretty much just looking for our 3-minute to get inversed. So in this case, here, the only man, what was I looking? All the stuff on the screens kind of confused me. It was definitely a 3-minute gap. Oh yeah, so pretty much I waited for a 3-minute gap to be inversed, which in this case was this one here. So once we tapped into that 5-minute, the high time frame fair value gap that we had was our 3-minute. Because the 1 minute, it's something new that I'm actually learning, is that when I'm taking these inverse trades, there should be some form of or like on the pullback down on the manipulation leg, which is this leg here. We do create some 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute fair value gaps. So on the trades that I do lose, it's because that we actually don't close above these gaps here. So I actually got a fill up here. So if I got a fill down here, this trade would have been really, really nice. This would have been a nice 1-to-1 trade here. So as you can see, that definitely would have hurt. And it's just one of those things where I got really unfortunate with the fill. As soon as this candle opened, we actually moved straight up to the point where it actually filled me. Let me bring it up. It actually filled me all the way up here. So I was kind of forced to go break even after we take out these highs, targeting these 15-minute highs just in case price wanted to rally all the way up there, because we did have some space between this range and these highs. So it was definitely targetable in my opinion. In terms of the second trade, it was based on the fact that though we took out these highs, we were still, our condition, which was our 5-minute gap, was still holding at the time. So to me, I was happy to try longs again. And this happened very quickly. It's kind of gonna get off, but then I wanted to see like, you know, what price was doing. And yeah, when we had a small fair value gap, which was here, and price respected it nicely. A high time frame inversion in this case was this 3-minute inversion, which was here, as well as this one here. But ideally, I pretty much just waited for this inversion to get kind of get flipped. So once we flipped that, I went long. I went long after hitting this inversion, but again, unfortunately, we were stopped out. And yeah, there's nothing much I could really do. Our break even really didn't get hit, as I knew that if we took out these highs, we're most probably rallying to these highs up here, which would have been a really nice trade. But again, that's why I went half risk, just because I knew that we did take out these hourly highs, which is here, which actually stopped us out of break even. And when we had that retracement, I wanted to see whether our conditions actually get set or not, which in this case they did get respected. Therefore, we inversed that 3-minute gap I was talking about all the way up here. And with that, we also targeting these highs here, stops below these lows down here. And yeah, just kind of just looking for a bias. Oh no, sorry, looking for longs that way. So again, sometimes our conditions hold, sometimes they don't. But again, I was happy to take both trades. I feel like they were both really, really good trades. Just because our 5-minute structure was holding on the fact that, our 5-minute structure was holding on the fact that, you know, even though we did hit this 4-hour gap, we were still respecting 5-minute structure, which is shown in this area here, as well as in this area here. But unfortunately, we were unable to take a trade. Unfortunately, we did take a loss, which is fine. That's something that I have to live with and deal with. It's just about, you know, making sure that our conditions are set and we're taking trades based on reaction, not prediction. So, yeah. So overall, 1 break even and 1 loss, which is not too bad. I would gladly take that. Or 1 half loss, I would say, half risk. But yeah, maybe like, you know, this to me was an A+ setup. We just had a horrible fill, and we were we were unable to kind of capture that. We were unable to capture that 1-to-1. That would have been really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing more I could really do. Like, especially when we get a horrible fill, I think next time I should have the tools ready to go. In terms of like lot size, I was quite late to it, and as soon as we opened on that 3-minute candle, we just rushed quickly to the upside. So I had a horrible fill. So yeah, so that's what I that's what I have to do next time, is just have the lot size and things ready, just so when they are ready to take a trade, you know, I'm ready to go. So yeah, just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed night. I'll see you guys in the next video. We are learning as we are going, and yeah, and we are going to keep improving, keep coming to the markets with a positive attitude. Every trade is different. You know, this won't stop me at, you know, trading. You know, losing is all part of the game. You lose enough times, you eventually win. So, yeah, you know, as long as we make those changes in our trading and keeping a positive attitude and learning from our losses and things like that. So, yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.